The fog rolled in at exactly midnight, as if it had been waiting for permission. Alex Carter killed the engine of his beat-up sedan and sat in the silence that followed. Through the windshield, the town of Halcott unfolded like a photograph left too long in the sun, bleached, warped, wrong. The streetlights were dead. Every last one. But the moon was bright enough to turn the fog into something luminous, something that glowed from within like the screen of an old television tuned to nothing. He pulled his grandfather's journal from the passenger seat and flipped to the page he'd dog-eared weeks ago. The handwriting was shaky, the ink faded to the color of dried blood. Studio shut down 1957. They burned the reels, but not all of them. Something in the drawings, something that looked back. Alex closed the journal and stepped out into the cold. The air tasted metallic, like biting down on foil. He shouldered his backpack, checked that his camera had battery life, and clicked on his flashlight. The beam cut a pale wound through the fog, illuminating the first row of houses on Maple Street. They were small, identical, the kind of post-war bungalows that used to line every American town. Now their windows were dark mouths, their doors hanging open like jaws frozen mid-scream. He started walking. His boots on the cracked pavement were the only sound. No crickets, no wind, not even the distant hum of a highway. Halcott had been abandoned for decades, ever since the Fenwick Animation Studio closed and the jobs dried up. That was the official story, anyway. His grandfather had told a different one, about animators who stopped sleeping, who drew the same character over and over in the margins of their work, who whispered about something that had crawled out of the ink. Alex raised his camera and filmed the street. The LCD screen showed him what his eyes already saw: emptiness, decay, fog. But there was something about seeing it through a lens that made it feel more real and less real at the same time. Documented. Safe. This is going to make a hell of a documentary, he told himself. The thought felt thin. He passed a playground. The swing set was rusted into stillness, chains fused to the crossbar. A merry-go-round sat at an angle, half sunk into the earth. On the side of it, someone had painted a cartoon face, round head, enormous grin, oversized eyes. The paint was peeling, but the expression was vivid, almost aggressive in its cheerfulness. Alex stopped. He aimed his flashlight at the painting and felt something tighten in his chest. The style was unmistakable. He'd seen it in his grandfather's journal, in the photocopied frames from old Fenwick cartoons. The character was called Mr. Whiskers, a cartoon cat, big smile, friendly eyes, the kind of character that sold cereal and lunchboxes in 1954. But the painting on the merry-go-round was wrong. The smile was too wide. It curved past the edges of the face, climbing toward where ears should have been. The eyes were blank white ovals with no pupils, no warmth, no life. Alex took a photo. The flash erupted, and for one frozen instant the entire playground was white. When the darkness crashed back, he thought he saw something move at the far edge of the lot. Tall, impossibly tall. A shape that didn't belong to any architecture or tree. He held his breath and aimed the flashlight. Nothing, just fog curling between the houses. He exhaled slowly and lowered the beam. Just nerves, just the fog playing tricks. But his hand was shaking, and he noticed because the flashlight beam trembled against the pavement like a dying heartbeat. He kept moving. Past the playground, past a barber shop with a cracked pole still mounted to the facade, past a diner called Rosie's where the neon sign had collapsed inward through the front window. Every building wore the same expression of slow surrender, and on every third or fourth surface, a mailbox, a wall, a bench, he found another painted Mr. Whiskers. Same round head, same impossible grin. Some were faded almost to nothing. Others looked disturbingly fresh. Alex documented